This is called a neuralyzer. It's a gift from some friends from out of town. This red eye here will isolate the electronic impulses in your brains, more specifically the ones for memory. Now, I'm sure you have a lot of questions, and the answers you're looking for lie right here. Oh, and if you're wondering who I am, well, I'm just a figment of your imagination. Hey everybody, Sean from SP Productions here, back today with another video. Today I'm going to be unboxing the Men in Black Neuralyzer, just released by Factory Entertainment. This is something that's really special to me just because the Neuralyzer was like the first prop that really got me into prop collecting. Up until that point, I had largely collected prop replicas that were made by a lot of the big toy companies, and I was repeatedly disappointed with their lack of accuracy and functionality. The Neuralyzer was no different. After the movie came out, I started my search looking for a Neuralyzer, and there was a toy company who I don't think's around anymore called Galoob that released a Men in Black agent kit, and in it had a pair of sunglasses, a noisy cricket, and a Neuralyzer. So first thing was trying to find one. I found one at my local mall. Because I couldn't drive at the time, I had to have one of my parents drive me to the mall. I picked it up, I brought it home, ripped it open, and I was so disappointed to see that the Neuralyzer was really just a hollow plastic tube with zero functionality. It didn't pop open, there were no electronics, no LEDs, no sound effects, and most importantly, there was no flash. And my disappointment in the Neuralyzer led me to look for a higher end prop replica, and since then I've actually owned a few different versions, including one made by a famous prop maker named Richard Coyle, which was a replica of one of the alternate versions of the Men in Black Neuralyzer. I also have the, you can see it back up there, that's the Men in Black 2 Neuralyzer made by Master Replicas, who doesn't manufacture that prop anymore, although I think Factory Entertainment actually released one. The main difference between this prop and that prop is that that one has like a blue LED for the main eye, where this is true to the original that you see in the 1997 movie with the red eye. But what's interesting is there were actually two different versions of the original Neuralyzer in the movie. There's a smaller version that you see in most of the shots, the prop that's held by Tommy Lee Jones along with Will Smith, and the display on the back is slightly different in that it has the 3 dials, and then at the bottom there's one button that activates kind of the flash function. There was also an alternate version of the prop made that was a lot bigger because it was designed to house a 7-segment LED display on the control panel that displayed the year. They couldn't fit the electronics in the same small housing that they used for the main prop. So they built a larger version that had the year display on the back and actually had a hand model that had larger hands come in to kind of make the Neuralyzer look like it was in scale to the smaller prop that you see Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith hold in the movie. I was always a bigger fan of the prop version that had the year display on it. When Factory Entertainment announced this just about a year ago now, I pounced on it. So here we are, more than 25 years after the original Men in Black movie was released, finally have a replica of the original Men in Black Neuralyzer with the year display on the back. So yeah, without further ado, let's get it open. So yeah, here it is, the Men in Black, the original Neuralyzer from the first movie. So to activate it, like the prop, you push down on the pen clip here. And then you can hear it ramps up. It's got sound effects that were taken right from the movie. You can see the display here. You've got your minutes, hours, and years dials. And then the cool feature, as I mentioned, is the year display that you see here, which defaults to 1997, which is the year Men in Black was released. To adjust the year, you can bump it up or bump it down with the buttons on the left and right. Or if you want to go a bunch, you can hold it down and it'll scroll up. And then the MAF button is the flash activator. So not sure how much that comes up on camera, but so included, you get the instruction booklet, tells you all the different parts of the Neuralyzer, how to operate it, like how to open and close it, how to twist it open to insert the battery or replace the battery if your batteries die, how then back to close it, certificate of authenticity, which this version of the prop was limited to 1997 pieces. I got number 636, so included is a nice little plaque that goes in the display case. So as with most Factory Entertainment replicas, you get some beautiful box art, including the Men in Black headquarters logo, which is nice. And then the display case, which you can stand up or lay down. It's actually got pads on the back. It's got the Men in Black logo on the front. What I thought was a really nice touch that they did with the display case is the foam insert that goes on the bottom actually has two sides to it. So hopefully this will show up on camera, but this side has a longer cutout if you want to display the Neuralyzer in an open configuration, and on the reverse side, there's a smaller cutout if you want to display it closed. Put it like this. So some initial impressions for you. The piece looks very well built. It's a metal housing, which is a nice touch. Really gives it some weight and some feel. I am noticing that the opening mechanism is super sensitive, so I might have to tweak that a little bit. I mean, it does hold it in place, and you know, you can kind of jiggle around a little bit, but I probably wouldn't want to carry this in my pocket because like the slightest bump and it opens up. Not a huge deal, as the piece will mostly be on display anyway, but it would have been nice if that was a little bit more secure. As far as the details, I mean, you know, the chrome look of the Men in Black props is kind of the signature appearance, so I think they nailed that pretty well. The pop-up mechanism, you know, other than the latch, actually works really well. Piece pops right up. You get the red standby light on the front, which again is kind of the signature look of the original Men in Black prop. You don't see that going forward. They switched over to blue LEDs because blue LEDs are cool on everything. So, you know, all the future Men in Black movies use blue LEDs. The rear display is really nice. Hopefully some of the details will show up on camera for you. But again, you get the minute, dial, weeks, years, and then the trigger along with the year display. I am noticing, and I actually had the same problem with the Master Replicas version, these dials are really hard to turn. Like, I'm kind of pressing them down and they're not really moving, which is a shame because you can see they actually engraved, like for the minutes, it's got 0 to 60 on there, and then for hours, it's 3, 6, 9, and 12, and then for weeks, for whatever reason, they have the days of the year. So it actually says like Sunday, you know, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday on there. Again, it's not a huge deal. I mean, I don't plan on actually turning the dials all that much. It just would have been nice that, since that's supposed to be one of the functional features in the world version of the prop, that these dials are supposed to turn. That's how you actually set the Neuralyzer, but, you know, not bad. One issue a lot of people are noticing is that the prop itself is a little wobbly. So if you can see that, I actually don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. I know the popping mechanism, along with keeping kind of a clean chrome front to this, really makes this prop a lot more complicated than it appears. Otherwise, you know, if you tighten up the tolerances on this, when the thing pops up, the front of the tube gets scratched up. So this is a way of protecting that. I think with some little bit of material inserted in there, you can probably help, you know, alleviate the wobbles. But to me, it's really not that bad. The sound effects are pretty loud. Hopefully they're not overwhelming the dialogue for the video, but you can hear kind of that standby mode. You get the Neuralyzer activating, and then the recharge, so it's ready to go again. It actually doesn't sound bad considering the size of the speaker that I'm sure they had to put in this thing. Maybe wishful thinking. I really would have liked something that had a little bit more bass kind of kick behind it. The Neuralyzer sound effect in the movie really has kind of a deep thump behind it, which I think is really what makes it impactful. But understand this is a small compact set of electronics, you probably can't get that kind of sound out of something this small. The flash itself, you can see this on my face. It's pretty nice. They're ultra bright LEDs. They do go through kind of this piece of translucent plastic, so it does filter them a little bit, but probably my only gripe is it's a really quick flash and then it goes right back to the red, which I don't know is super accurate to how it functions in the movie. But overall, I'm really happy with this. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is a prop that's really special to me because it kind of kicked off my prop collecting journey. And as I mentioned, this is the first time that a Neuralyzer has ever been done that has the year display on the back by a prop licensee, which is kind of a big deal. And goes to show that even after 25 years when the movie originally came out, that there's still fans out there enough to warrant a company making a piece like this. So if anyone's interested in picking one of these up, I'll include a link below. This review was not sponsored. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.